Why my ex won't prove paternity. Prepare for a jaw-dropping twist. I mean, have you ever sat there, staring at your phone like it's the Loch Ness Monster, thinking, is this really happening? Well, let me tell you, it's been my reality for the past 14 years, and it's been a wild ride I'm not sure I'd wish on my worst enemy. You see, my ex, bless her heart, just kidding, she's the ex for a reason, has been trying to convince everyone, including me, that I'm the father of her kid. But the twist, she refuses to take a DNA test. Yeah, that's right, no fancy labs, no pricking of fingers, no official results. Just her word against mine. It's like that old joke about not being able to prove a negative. But honestly, it's not funny. It's just frustrating. We're talking 14 whole years of this dance, with no end in sight. And then, just when I think it's all getting too ridiculous, a beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed whirlwind shows up at my son's school claiming to be his long-lost sister. I mean, I'm no expert, but even I know that's not how cousin genes work. This mystery girl, who shall remain nameless until the inevitable paternity drama unfolds, somehow managed to convince everyone in her new community that she's our long-lost baby sister. I'm not even kidding when I say she convinced the other kids in the school that I'm her favorite uncle. And the parents think she's the perfect example of a good kid. Me, I just get a raised eyebrow and an awkward, "That's your sister, huh?" At this point, it's not just about finding out the truth. It's about navigating this kooky comedy of errors. Just when I think I've got my bearings, another shoe drops. Like when the mysterious girl starts sending us text messages claiming Uncle did this or Uncle did that. My son thinks it's a cool game of Guess the Game, where Uncle is a mastermind character, and I'm trying not to be too obvious about my sister concerns. But seriously, folks, someone, my daughter or the universe, has been playing a wicked trick on me, and I'm ready to unravel this tangled web of deceit once and for all. Because when it comes down to it, my name, my family, and this unraveling madness, I just want the truth. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another story time that's going to make your jaw drop. Today, we're diving into a saga that's been haunting me for over a decade. It involves my ex, who we'll call Natalie, a girl named Emma, and enough plot twists to make a soap opera writer jealous. I've been thinking about this story nonstop, and I'm still trying to process how it all went down. Before we jump in, quick disclaimer. I've changed the names to protect everyone's privacy, but everything I'm about to tell you is 100% real. Trust me, my imagination isn't this good. I'm no author, but I've got a PhD in creating drama, thanks to this roller coaster of a relationship that I was once a part of. Let me take you back to where this whole mess started. I want you to picture a younger, more naive version of me. Think The Notebook meets Mean Girls, with a dash of "what was I thinking?" But seriously, I was caught up in a relationship that had more red flags than a communist parade. I mean, there's the classic, he seems nice but has a bunch of shady friends vibe. And then there's the she's got questionable friends, but at least they're fun type. Yeah, that was my situation. All those warning signs just looked like, well, regular flags to me back then. I was too busy wearing those rose-colored glasses to notice the writing on the wall. It's like my mom always says, if it's too good or bad to be true, it probably is. Yeah, Mom, I heard you. Anyway, where was I? Yes, the beginning of this wild ride. It all started with my ex, Natalie, who seemed like the perfect catch at first. She was gorgeous, smart, and had a sweet disposition. What more could a guy ask for? But little did I know, this sweet exterior hid a whole lot of drama, and as we'll see later, a whole lot of secrets. As I sit here, reflecting on the wild ride that was my relationship with Natalie, I can't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. I mean, who needs a Netflix subscription when you have a girlfriend who can create her own drama-filled episodes? She was the queen of entrances, the mistress of manipulation, and the lady of drama. One minute we'd be laughing together. The next she'd be storming out of the room because I accidentally left the cap off the shampoo bottle. It was like living in a soap opera, and I was just an unsuspecting actor in her twisted script. But what really gets me is the way she'd orchestrate these grand entrances. She'd appear out of nowhere, like a flashbang grenade exploding in slow motion. It was as if she had a personal radar system that could detect my location from miles away. I swear, she had some kind of hallucination-inducing powers. I remember one time, we were at a restaurant, and she saw me glance at a female waiter. That was it, the death blow. The apocalypse had begun. She'd constructed an elaborate narrative in her head, complete with fabricated conversations and clandestine meetings. It was like watching a B-movie unfold in real life. Our relationship was a never-ending obstacle course of drama, anxiety, and occasional moments of levity. But looking back, I realized I was stuck in a toxic cycle, slowly draining the life out of me. She'd create these media-worthy moments, only to gaslight me into believing it was all my fault. But then the bombshell dropped. 3 months after we broke up, Natalie casually informed me that she was pregnant with my child. Wow, what a coincidence. Not. As I frantically did the math in my head, I realized the paternity leave would have landed at the exact same time our breakup did. Convenient, much? Needless to say, she didn't take kindly to my mathematical critiques. Pointing out the glaring holes in her alibi sent her into a frantic frenzy. I thought I was going to need a hazmat suit to shield myself from her toxic fallout. And that's when I started to notice the behind-the-scenes drama. She'd show up en masse at random events, armed with an arsenal of subtle and not-so-subtle hints that only she understood. I'd later find out these events were often carefully coordinated, a grand spectacle designed to tug at my heartstrings. Looking back, it's clear she exhibited classic stalker behavior, but at the time, I dismissed it as mere passion. What a fool I was. And then, out of nowhere, Emma burst onto the scene. Our kid's younger half-sister. Yes, you heard that right. The school performance turned into a one-woman show when this teenager made an unannounced entrance, declaring to the entire audience that Emma was her biological sister. The utter chaos? You might be wondering why I didn't just fob off Emma and her dubious claims at first. Well, the truth is, with a kid at the center of this tempest, I've had to navigate the wild west of family law for years now. Like some twisted subscription service, I've renewed a restraining order every 2 years, mainly to keep an eye on Emma, until I found my savior, an amazing lawyer who could decipher the Byzantine court system. With their help, we got a permanent solution in place, and now, finally, the court has appointed a guardian ad litem for Emma minus a fancy term for someone who's ultimately in charge, because this is all just totally bananas. As I look back, I realize the question now isn't how did this happen, but what drives her relentless pursuit of my life? The surprising answer? She's desperately trying to make me acknowledge Emma as mine. But what has taken me this long to grasp is the realization that she's fighting hard to avoid a DNA test precisely because she can't afford to have it done. What a morbid web we've been ensnared in. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the entire situation. It's like I was living in a soap opera, with Natalie as the queen of deceit. Or was she? As it turns out, she was just a pawn in a much larger game. And I'm not just talking about the game of love and trust. Natalie, my pseudo-soulmate, had been stringing me along with a series of excuses for not getting that DNA test. I thought I knew her, but boy was I wrong. I mean, I've seen some wild stuff in my time, but this takes the cake. Or should I say, it takes the DNA test result. I remember being excited, anxious, and prepared for that DNA test, only to have it become a distant memory. I thought we were taking a leap of faith together, but it turned out we were just taking a wild goose chase. And when I finally got the results back, I was shocked to find out that it's not just about Natalie's excuses. It's about something much deeper. It's funny how life can spin you around like a tilt-a-whirl. 1 minute you're feeling high, the next minute you're on the ground, wondering what hit you. But that's exactly what happened in my case. I thought I knew what love and trust looked like, but I didn't know the half of it. It's also interesting to note that people have this weird tendency to invest in lies. They become so deeply entrenched in their own web of lies that they lose sight of reality. I mean, who does that? Only the most skilled deceivers, right? But in this case, Natalie, my pseudo-soulmate, was just a lost soul trying to protect herself and her family. And then the bombshell dropped. Natalie is my half-sister, which, according to the DNA results, makes my ex also my half-sister. I mean, what are the chances? It's like I was living in a B-movie, where crazy plots and over-the-top storylines are the norm. It's been a wild ride, and I'm not done yet. As I sit here, reflecting on the past month or so, I realize that I've learned a thing or two about human nature. It's a complex web of love, trust, and deceit, and sometimes it's hard to know what's real and what's not. But in the end, that's what makes life so interesting, the roller coaster. Ride of emotions, the curveballs life throws at us, and the people we meet along the way. Long story short, or so I thought, my DNA test results might not be the craziest part of this story. The real crazy part is that it all started with a simple lie, which unfolded into a web of deceit, family secrets, and surprising twists and turns. But hey, at the end of the day, that's what makes life worth living. The drama, the excitement, and the ability to adapt. Just kidding, I'm still trying not to throw up every time that I think of the fact that my ex is actually my sister, and I'm still in therapy.